Welcome to episode 393 of In Touch with iOS, the show that talks about iPhone, iPad, Apple Watch, Apple TV, Vision Pro, Mac, and related technologies. I'm your host, Dave Ginsburg, and we are here on a special day, Wednesday night instead of Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central Time, because I'm going on vacation, heading off to Las Vegas to have some fun, celebrate maybe a little thing here that I have coming up, a birthday, and with family, so it's going to be fun. But I can't complain because I have everybody here and I'm going to have a great time tonight. So let's get everybody introduced and get started here. First off, Jill McKinley, you are here. Thanks for being here. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me here.
Great. And Ben Roethig, you are here. How are you doing, Ben?
Newly 44 and ready to do this.
That's right. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
Yeah. I'm glad you were here. And also here with his cardinal behind him is Eric Bolden. How you doing, Eric?
Great. Wonderful day today.
That bird, I could see what it was.
Good bird identification there.
Yeah. So glad you're here. Also here, Chuck Joyner. So glad you're here, Chuck. How you doing?
I'm great, Dave. A little advice when you go to Vegas. If the mob invites you to a poker game, don't go.
I'm not going to go. Maybe I'll go to the Mob Museum. Nah, I've already been there.
If they invite you to a restaurant, do go, because that means it's got good food.
Oh, we got Echo and Rig. That's where we're going for Saturday night. I can't wait. So Jeff Gamet is here. Glad you're here, Jeff. How you doing?
I'm doing great. And I have to point out, because this is something that Brian Chaffin and I do on the Context Machine, your episode number is a numeric palindrome.
It is 393. And also 7 away from 400. We're getting
so
there.
Close.
We're close. But last but certainly not least, Marty Jencius coming fresh off of a presentation. Glad you can make it.
Oh,
How you doing?
I'm so glad that you kind of held things up so I could join this, and I appreciate it.
Oh,
Not just from you, Dave, but all the other panelists with you. I'm doing good. It's a good end of the day.
Great.
And I get to get some rest, and then I have to go to a 3-hour faculty meeting tomorrow.
Oh boy. I'll be on a 7 a.m. flight, so I'm getting up
Okay.
at 4 a.m., I think. So it's going to be early morning tomorrow. But let's go ahead and get started. Plenty of things to talk about. Vision Pro, they've got beta. We're almost there with the new release and Mac and lots of news. But let's start off with In Touch with Vision Pro this week. We've got beta VisionOS 26.1. The release candidate is out. And like we always expect with Vision Pro releases, there isn't much to talk about. Is that correct, Marty?
Yeah, not much to talk about. And they kind of, if you looked at the last two beta releases, there was not a lot of changing going on, just a little bit of cleaning up in this last one in particular. So I'm not even looking at if any changes are with the RC right now. Now I'm thinking, okay, so get us on to point 2. I need some excitement.
Yeah. Exactly. And Eric, how about you? Even though you're not running beta.
Yeah, I'm just looking forward to next week where I could finally upgrade when it's not beta anymore.
All right, definitely. So that's but much we could talk about it with the beta. But I had to do this because Marty ran out of time on Vision Profiles. So he always teases me because I always say patents are not exciting. But I thought this one was kind of exciting. The Patently Apple, which is, of course, now hosted on X, don't go figure, is exploring smart tension bands to improve the Vision Pro design. Apple's continuing to define the ergonomics of its head-mounted devices, as revealed in this newly published U.S. patent application for a securement band for a head-mountable device. The following is a system that combines a comfortable light seal with a adjustable tension band and tensioners, or manual, automatic, or automatic, to ensure a comfortable, stable fit across a wide range of head shapes and facial features. So lots of stuff here. Then there's a diagram here that is interesting to see how this is going to be. It's something different. So I'll start off with you, Marty. Where is this going? Where do you think?
I think, I was watching a commercial today for one of those copper waistbands, that you can tighten, and it helps you with your lifting and it makes your back feel great. And it had that crisscross suspension that I think is where this is going. So the adjustment will pull on multiple points, which will secure the light shield better, because it's not just a singular fulcral point where
Mhm.
the light shield's being pulled at, but you can adjust multiple points of it.
Okay. Um, so Eric, did you look at this? Is there anything you
Ye-
wanted to add to this as far as
I'm
the
just
design?
I'm just thinking they're going to have to add another knob, or maybe you'll be able to pull out, twist, and pull out again, and pull out a third time, and now that we've got the band that adjusts in the back and the band that adjusts across the top, why not throw in one more and then tweak a bunch of things in the front of your face, and you can just grind the whole thing on. And
Yep.
I'm kind of looking forward to it because the knobs are nice, fine tune adjustment, good audio feedback as you're doing it.
Yep. I don't know if anybody wants to add to this, but I'm going to assume not, unless you wanted to add something to this.
Yep.
Well,
Go ahead, Ben. Or Jill.
Go ahead, Ben.
What it shows that Apple is constantly trying to make this a better experience for the user. I mean, they could have stayed with that original band. They didn't, and they went with a much better experience, which, by the way, shows that balance, not weight, is the primary primary factor for comfort. And I mean, this is still an experimental product in some regards. So when and if this becomes mainstream, Apple wants to have the best experience.
I was going to say, from my Oculus point of view, there's fatigue there. You wear it and you're just tired of wearing it, and so you want to take it off. And if Apple envisions this where you don't need 3, 4 monitors, you have this, you don't need a TV, it has to be more comfortable. And if it wants to be all the things it wants to be, you have to want to wear it for many more hours.
Yeah. Yeah. I was going to add to this, Eric, how is the new band? I know we talked about it a little bit on Vision Profiles, but share with our listeners and viewers how you've been. I know you've been pretty happy with it. I'm still waiting for mine. It isn't going to arrive here until probably next week.
It
At
is
this point.
truly awesome. You can lean back against a surface and it's comfortable. You can sit in a chair, it's comfortable. You can stand up, it's comfortable. The counterweights, you really don't really notice them as a weight, but it does mean things don't shift around. The fine tuning means pretty much it's like a very comfortable knit cap. And you can slide it on, slide it off. It's fast. I find the adjustment I have, I don't even have to tighten it and loosen it. I can have it as pretty much where I need it. Slide it on, do what I want to do, slide it off, go let the dogs out, put it back on again. Yeah. So this is definitely a success.
Okay. Anybody else want to add anything to this before we move on here? One thing I wanted to mention was this past week. It was actually published over this on Sunday. Apple hosted a special Vision Pro event for developers. Apple used a launch week of the M5 Vision Pro this week to run a 2-day Meet with Apple program to developers with a focus on building immersive media and interactive apps with VisionOS 26. Apple invited developers to its developer center in Cupertino, hosted sessions on how to create Apple immersive video, design spatial interactions, and using features such as SharePlay and spatial personas. There was two tracks. It was on 2 days of it. I'm not going to go deep into this. Looks like one was more just probably would be interesting to folks who are not developers or who want to just kind of find out about it. If not, it was not for everybody. So, Marty, what did you think of this?
I think it's pretty cool that they're doing this. I think part of it is to help developers avoid pitfalls that they could get into. And Eric talked a little bit about this on Vision Profiles, the idea that the orientation of the camera that you shoot makes a big difference. I listened to a little bit of the rundown on this on 6 Colors, and Jason Snell, his impression of going to it was to say, I finally figured out why Apple's rolling out the Vision Pro the way they rolled it out. People are complaining for more content, but you have to realize they had this thing put together without even having software to edit for it in terms of spatial video. And so they were building the device faster than they could build this, that people were building the support software to do the marvelous things that it can do.
Okay. Eric, anything you wanted to add on this?
Yeah, just that the day 2, they went through some of Apple's immersive productions and gave kind of a back end look at how they did them, and a couple little highlights of interesting things that happened and what they learned from the productions. And each and every single production, there was some new thing that they said, oh yeah, this worked really well, or we need to adjust things to work around it. Even things as simple as trying to cut from one scene to the other, how to kind of make that work. And this was a chance to share all of that experience with a bunch of people who are trying to build content. So I'm hopeful that it will greatly improve content that is in development, and we'll all benefit from that.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Anybody want to add anything else to this about the developers?
I think it's important because, again, like there's people like me going, well, I'm not going to buy one because there's not enough content. And then there's developers like, well, I'm not going to make stuff unless there's more people. And if we can kick a group in and say, hey, look at, here's more.
Yeah. And there's one point that they made too, which was building out the content for the Vision Pro. You could then adjust that content for release for other platforms as well. So there was some effort to discuss cross-platform design and filming, and the techniques worked on multiple platforms. So it's not like you only had Vision Pro devices to produce for. You using the Vision Pro, it was easier to check to make sure you were filming and getting good content, but then you could rework the content to be to work for other devices. So for streaming services, you could design and push it out to everybody.
Right. Anybody want to add anything else?
Just that this is not the sign of a company that's looking at abandoning this product anytime soon.
No. I would agree with that.
That seems obvious, but it needs to be said with all the naysayers out there.
Yeah. I mean, I'll spin it back too about the fact that immersive video, I've been complaining about the lack of content since I got the Vision Pro a year and a half ago. If we can get these developers to get excited about creating this content, I mean, I can't wait because it's going to be a great thing. I hoped that the F1 movie was going to be it's with some immersive video content. No such luck. So, but we've had some good content, but it's getting a little old now. I don't want to go watch it like a few dozen more times of the same stuff. So.
Well, and one last interesting point that there was a discussion about sports content and delivering content to really, really large audiences. And one of the things that they were discussing is adjusting a current standard because the way it's set up, as soon as you get over a certain number of people, it doesn't work anymore. So trying to set it up so you could have a whole stadium's worth of people that you were streaming out to, without having people losing the connection or not getting the parts in order, and how to deal with efficiently streaming data out so that it doesn't use up all of the available bandwidth. So they're definitely working on trying to make it work. It's not quite there yet, even in the baseline standards. So that was really interesting.
All right. Let's go ahead and move on. We'll go over to beta this week. Apple did seed all the beta releases. The release candidates, so you got iOS 26.1, iPadOS 26.1, and macOS Tahoe 26.1, watchOS, and tvOS as well. They're still adding more languages to Apple Intelligence. There isn't a ton of stuff that we haven't already talked about that's been released. it's going to be. I'm thinking it's going to get released next week. Honestly, from as we're recording this, and really wasn't much to say. I mean, I installed it on my 16E and didn't have any problems at updating. So I think we're all pretty much getting anxious to make get the install up there, especially some of the things in iOS 26.1 would be the liquid glass toggle. I was talking about that at work because we're starting to look at iOS 26 for the iPad, and I'm a little worried about folks who who are working on an iPad in a day out that they may not like this liquid glass feature. So I think I'm probably going to be looking at seeing if there's going to be ways to tame it, because there's going to be people out there who are not going to be totally excited about it. Glad to see that they're going to at least put something in that you could at least reduce it. So
hey, Dave,
yeah, go ahead.
That reduction feature for liquid glass works really well.
Yeah,
it does. Okay, I didn't put it on my iPad this time, so I probably should. But it's coming back next week, so I'll get to play with it.
Yeah, and one of the first things I did when that feature hit the betas was turned it on to see what would happen or how it would look. And I'd already done the thing with reduce the transparency on it and increase the contrast, or whatever the two settings were. And that definitely helped. But this, you can still see through a tiny bit, but it's so much better.
Well, it's good to hear.
Yeah.
Did anybody else try it on iPad or iPhone, for that matter, to see if that was going to be reduced?
And Mac.
I tried it on Mac and iPad. But
Yeah,
I like
it.
I like it without it being reduced. I'm just fine with the new look.
I am too. I would kind of agree.
For me, it depends on what's behind, because there are a lot of situations where the transparency, I don't want to say conflicts, but doesn't handle what's behind it so that you get enough contrast to clearly read whatever the transparent liquid glass bubbly thing is in front of.
Yeah, I realize I keep most of my backgrounds black. Just
that would make a big difference.
And it does look really cool on that.
Yep. I bet it does, yeah.
Any thoughts on this, Chuck?
I'm not a good one to ask, because these kind of things really don't bother me the way they seem to bother other people. And that's cutting out the folks that need or have thoughts because of accessibility issues. I've noticed it. It's like, and that's it. So I can't say it's really made. I don't sit there and say, oh, I really hate this, or oh, I really like that and want to see more of it. It's just like, okay, that's the way it is now. So I know that change is hard. I know people hate change. And so it's going to be really interesting to see in, let's just say 3 months, 6 months, if anybody really cares, or if they've already just made the adjustments to their liking. Because it always seems logical that Apple would give you options to control this to some degree, given how much they do in accessibility. So again, I'm not a great one to ask, because it just doesn't seem to affect me a lot.
Anybody else have any opinions on any of the new features in 26.1?
nothing big, but I'm glad you have more settings. I just always felt that more choices are always better. So
couple of things you're going to be able to do is you've got the camera swipe on the lock screen. The iPhone did offer that with fewer methods for launching the camera app, but this main app, a lot of users would like it to be able to swipe it off on the lock screen. I'm kind of finding that I hit it too much sometimes, so I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of it. And you can make changes to it as well. The less swipes, more taps. You got a lot of slide to unlock, iPhone gestures, and the redeploys its alarms and timers have changed. So I'm still getting used to that, and stumbling when I set my alarm and make sure I hit the right button when I want to snooze. and then local capture settings, they made some adjustments. It's a on-device video and audio recording. That's a local capture. It makes it easier for you to do things like creating podcasts directly from an iPhone and things like that. So they've made some subtle changes. There's going to be more to come, I would think. But Apple's heard it loud and clear with iOS 26, and and I get family members complaining, well, how do you turn off to get to the phone, or how do you, because how it does now that the phone goes up to the corner and you see the highlighted number and it hides. Same thing with the new feature with the when you're on the hold feature, when you put it on hold and you could put it in. I worry I'm going to miss it, even though it says it's listening for you, because I started watching. I did it today for the first time on the hold feature when I was calling a pharmacy and finding out something, and it was like a 7-minute wait, 7 or 8 minutes, and I said, okay, let me just go back. But then once you go back, you can't go back and put it back into that hold mode again. So that was it's interesting, but some people want it turned off right away. I don't want to deal with this, so don't even. But same thing with the screening of the calls. You don't want them to screen it. Just let them leave the voicemail if you don't want it. But I'm glad Apple added these features, because a lot of people were complaining. You want to be able to, just like the old days with an answering machine. You can, when you hear someone talking, you want to, we picked up the phone. Oh, hey, now you can do that again. I mean, it took a while for that, but so I think Apple's gone pretty well with most of the features here. So. That's pretty much about it with the beta on that end of it. Mac OS Tahoe 26.1 has had some things that were added here. Again, a lot of the same things. It's the liquid glass display that we talked about, and the Apple Music Auto Mix is now being supported over AirPlay. You got improved FaceTime audio quality in low bandwidth conditions. Especially when you get into real low bandwidth, that can be a challenge. It's got communication safety and web content filters to limit adult websites and are enabled by default for the existing child accounts. Of course, ages vary, but by region. So some security things in that. I haven't seen much. I got it running on one of my beta machines, and I don't know if anybody else who's running beta on a Mac that they've seen anything.
No, I have it on my MacBook, but I want the child safety from websites out there. I get that. I'm just kidding.
Also a couple new things I found here. MacPaw, we love MacPaw, that Ukrainian great developer. They released a new program that goes along with Clean My Mac called Moonlock. It's a standalone Mac OS security app with the real-time protection, smart insights, and a built-in VPN. They've been teasing it for a month now, and then they as we know that they are the creators of not only Clean My Mac, but the awesome Set app that a lot of us have, because being able to get all that great software for one price a year and enjoy it. But they came out with Moonlock, which is an all new standalone cybersecurity application built to give you real-time protection, visibility into your Mac security posture, and provide clear steps to improve it without overcomplicating things. The look and the feel and the sound design are exactly what you'd expect from MacPaw. So they've gone through a lot of engine that's built on Clean My Mac security features. So since 2023, and they have an engine that's being validated, independent, tested by A/B test, and it's notarized by Apple, so that's great. So Apple does approve it. But the key features you have the home, which is going to be the security center, and you have the malware scanner, which Clean My Mac had that, but this is going to be even more advanced. And then the VPN, I haven't tried that yet, but that's interesting to see if it's built in and if it's better than I use Surfshark, but I know some people use ExpressVPN, and I know Jeff, you use TunnelBear. That might be interesting to see how it would look. Chuck, what do you think of this? I know you talk to the MacPaw guys from time to time, and this is another good potential interview, I bet.
Yeah, I think. Well, more important than the interview, it's something that comes from a company that I think we have come to trust. Yeah, they've been around for a long time. They're very open. They're one of those companies that sort of took the old school approach of becoming part of the community and not just selling to the community. And so as a result, there's this automatic gut level trust that you have from anything that comes out of MacPaw. And so I'm looking forward to this. Like you, I want to test out the VPN. I want to test. Hopefully, I'm not testing out too much of the Moonlock part, because that would mean I'm fighting off infections, and I don't want to do that if I don't have to. But yeah, I feel really, really good about this, instead of certain other big name antivirus people that you just feel like, okay, they have a bit of credibility, but this is a service built by a Mac developer for Mac users and for Apple users. So yeah, I feel really, really good about it.
And this is going to be more aimed for consumers, small business. I don't think you're going to see it out in the enterprise. But you got the big boys like CrowdStrike and Proofpoint, or to name a few. So, but I think this is a great start. It is available now. I just downloaded it off a set app and installed it. I didn't get to play with it too much. Didn't have a little bit of time. But Ben, you have any thoughts on this?
Yeah. Clean My Mac has been an essential app for years. Has just gotten better. Their Clear VPN app is excellent. Gemini is a lifesaver. It's taking kind of MacPaw has that history of taking something good that they've been doing, kind of spin it off into something even better. And I mean, I downloaded this off a set app during the show, and I can't wait to finally use it.
Yeah, absolutely. Marty, you have any thoughts on this?
I'm playing with it right now. I have now. I've got. Yeah, I mean, first I've got ExpressVPN. Now I'm on Surfshark. Now I've got Moonlock. I've got so many layers of security. I can't figure how to get out of my house.
Yeah, I want to know how Jeff is still here with all that security.
Yeah, well, clearly they still have holes to fix.
Yeah. So check it out. I mean, you can go to macpaw.com if you weren't interested in getting the setup, but I think many of us here have a setup subscription, well worth it, the investment. In fact, I probably pay a little more because I wanted to have it on multiple machines, and I was grandfathered into having 2 Macs for the 1 Mac price. But what the heck, I wanted to get more so I can have it on many Macs. So I think setup is an absolute gem of a way to get some awesome apps that are out there, and MacPaw is definitely one of them, many. So, anything else do you want to add on this?
I was confused at first. If you had Clean My Mac, did you need Moonlock? And I found oh yeah, it does more things, and so I was excited about them. Yep.
I mean, yeah, Clean Mac does all the basic malware checks and maintenance, and it checks the basic malware. Yep. And Apple Macs tend to not be as bad as Windows, but I mean they have their moments. There's some out in the wild there, so definitely something to look at. Go ahead.
If you don't have setup, is there a way to get it as a freestand? Because I know you can get that with Clean My Mac. Okay, all right. Just for listeners who might,
it's like $14 a month, I think.
It's a subscription, yeah. So I believe Clean My Mac is now too.
Yeah. I think when I first got my first Mac, yeah, it is
exactly.
when I first got my first Mac, I threw Norton on it, and I told Bart, and he's like, "No, get it off, get it off."
Martin McAfee, don't.
Right.
Or Kaspersky,
a Kaspersky.
Oh yeah, not that.
I think that qualifies as malware now.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know, Chuck. You like to have a virus scan software on your Macs, right?
Yeah, but I mean, I didn't mention any names, so I'm not culpable for anything that was just said here in the last 30 seconds.
Oh, well, yeah.
Okay.
Well, Chuck told me.
Thank you, Jeff.
Yeah.
All we did was mention names. It was the reactions that got us in trouble.
I will say
exactly
that I had it on there for about 4 months, and it never did anything wrong. So as much as all the screaming out there, it was doing fine. But still, I'm glad Mac written app is out there now.
Yeah. let's go ahead. Go ahead. Anything else?
But Jill, did it do anything right? Is the big question.
You don't know until all of a sudden one day you wake up with the virus and you're like, oh, well, that wasn't supposed to happen.
Yeah. Another time on another show, people ask me about Norton and the Windows 10 launch.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, good times.
It was. So, quick mention. I want to make sure we mention this. iMazing. I absolutely love this app. I don't use it enough, honestly. I need to use it more because I think it's a great way to back up. Yeah, I should use it more. I'm bad. But 3.4 just came out. Like they say, it's pro level control of your iPhone and iPad. And they currently have a 20% discount on it if you don't have a license. I bought the 6-device license and I'm getting auto upgrades, so I'm pretty happy to have that. So, but I got to use it more. That's not my problem. It's been around since 2008. God, it's been so long. It was an alternate to iTunes at the time, but it's became the most advanced and comprehensive way for iPhone management. Being able to get into your iPhone and get into the guts and be able to extract things that you really want to get to is what the most amazing thing it is being able to do that. So it is a really great app. I think everybody here can agree, and that probably everybody here has a license. If they don't, I'd be surprised. That this is a great way to do some pretty extensive backups beyond what you're normally doing with iCloud and others.
Here's my deep dark secret: is I bought it because of MacStock, and I've never once loaded it.
Oh, Jill,
Yeah.
you need to get that on your computer. Once you start,
I have it on my computer.
You're going to be like, oh, why didn't I put this on earlier?
I mean, it does take a little time at first when you put your iPhone in. You have to sacrifice your iPhone for a bit of time while it does the initial backup.
Okay.
But once it's done, and you got, especially if you got it on the external drive, or you could put it on your Mac's drive too, but it's better to put it external, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
You should do it that way. But yeah, just do a backup both iPad and iPhone. I mean, you can do them both, and if you have I have multiple iPhones. If I want to back them up, you can do multiple iPhones.
Dear Marty, you have 37 iPhones. You could back them all up.
This is true.
Yeah, I think Dave just likes to say amazing.
But I did throw a nice pun in there, so
Yeah, I was trying to ignore it.
I know. So anyway, so check it out. It's definitely a great app to get your hands on for your iPhone, iPad. So I want to talk a little bit about the iPad. The M4 and the M5. Is there really how much of a difference is? I was kind of thinking about that. I have the M4 iPad Pro, which I'm perfectly happy with. So I have no reason to really want to upgrade. But I found this interesting article on Mac Rumors showing a bit of the comparisons. So really, I mean, you go from an M4 to an M5. Is that going to be a big deal? The Wi-Fi, you go from a Broadcom Wi-Fi and Bluetooth chip to an N1 chip, which is an Apple chip. Bluetooth, you're going from 5.3 to 6.0. Wi-Fi 6E to Wi-Fi 7. I mean, who's using 7? I mean, there's a lot. It's not a lot out there with 7. Of course, the modem chip was added to the C1X and for the cellular models. Same thing with the M4, which has the Qualcomm Snapdragon. Storage, same thing. Go all the way up to 2 terabytes. The brightness is a 1 nit versus 2 to 4 nits minimum brightness. The drive it drives external displays at 60 hertz. M5 does it at 120 hertz. So there are some subtle differences, but really, I'm not going to go through all this, but there really isn't a huge difference between the two, and as far as I'm concerned. And unless you're in if you're in the market, like if you have like an older one, like an M1 or an M2, maybe M3, you might want to consider it. But Jeff, I'm start with you. You like your iPad. What do you think of this differences? There isn't much, is there?
There's not much, but for the people who need these features, it's a lot. Doing the comparison between the M4 and the M5, if I were to go out to the Apple Store to buy a brand new iPad today, I wouldn't even consider the M4. The 12 gig versus 8 gig memory, that matters for some of the editing and stuff that I do. Adaptive sync support, that matters to me. Being able to drive external displays at 120 hertz. In most cases, it doesn't matter for me, but when it does, boy, it really does. There are enough features in here for a creative professional or business professional, I suppose, that if you don't already have an M4, the M5 does make sense. If you have an M4 today, it's a really powerful machine. Maybe you don't need to upgrade it to an M5. But for everyone else, if you're in the market, even though you can probably start getting some deals on M4s if you look around, get the M5.
Yep. So, Ben, you have any thoughts on this?
Yeah. Differences today are relatively negligible. That said, iPadOS will probably be continuing to take features from the Mac in the future. So while that extra headroom might not mean that much today, we can't tell what it's going to be 4 months from now, 6 months from now, or what's going to happen after WWDC next year. So if you need an iPad, get the best one.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Chuck, do you have thoughts?
Yeah, I think it depends. I guess the way I would look at it is what is the price differential for the not base model, but just for the model that you want, and then make the decision. Is it, and recognizing that there will be some discounts on the M4s. If I remember correctly, I think there was already a discount I saw somewhere on the new M5, but again, I think it's the base model. But it's not the actual cost to me; it's the differential. And so, what am I buying for that differential? And if you have the need or the desire for things, that Jeff just mentioned, then the differential may be a no-brainer. And it's one more model down the road, so it's going to last you just that much longer.
Yep. Marty, you're not big into iPad, I know, and I don't know if it's something you would even consider at this point. But what is your thoughts?
Oh, please don't get me started. It's raining outside. I'm feeling a little down. And all I'm going to do is
cheer you up being here.
Yeah, I know, but now I'm actually pricing one out because if I can, let's go on to the next article, please.
Yes, and remember, Marty, iPads are now available with matching black keyboard.
Oh yeah,
I have both color keyboards. I've got an Air and I've got a M4, and I have too many iPads. So if I can reduce it down to one and get a deal, I don't know. Just let's go on to another article, please.
Yeah, Poco pads, collect them all.
I do like the fast charge piece.
Yeah,
because I've had a couple of cases where I've run my iPad down and I have a short window to try and get some charge, and then I have to go again. And if I could just quick charge it up a bit, it's a difference between having to carry around another external battery pack to continue charging it and make it through another couple hours. So that's a nice feature. Not enough for me to upgrade my current iPad, but
But Dave, I just punched it into ChatGPT, and obviously prices are going to vary, but what it just gave me now was a Sam's Club listing for the iPad Pro 13-inch of $1,049 versus a Best Buy listing for the M5 iPad Pro 13-inch of $1,499.
Yeah, well,
so That's what a difference of $450 roughly.
Chuck, is it true that ChatGPT automatically placed the order for you since the price difference is that big?
That is the new agent feature. Yeah.
No,
It is the agent feature.
I specifically put that in the prompt. Do not order unless you have Jeff's credit card.
So you better not search Vision Pro.
Yeah. But that's a $450 difference for everything that Jeff mentioned and a few other things too. So, figure it out.
Got a couple, did you know, and a little tip here, did you know that you can use YouTube Music offline on your Apple Watch? YouTube Music app on the Apple Watch has a download section, but it's not what you probably think. Here's what you need to know about how to use YouTube Music on your Apple Watch for offline listening. First off, you have to, unlike the stock Watch OS music app, you can't download songs and sync to it in the download section of the YouTube app on the app with that YouTube app in the Apple Watch. So what's this download section about? It's a download section of the Y2K YouTube Music, and the Apple Watch merely shows the songs as you save them offline and then play back in the YouTube Music app once you've paired the iPhone. So truly, can you actually go in and do it? Well, yeah, you've got some options here if you want to, but I think this is a pretty cool way to be able to download music if you are a YouTube music fan or like to use it. So there's some tips here in the article here. I've gotten show notes to check that out. Anybody aware of that? I mean, I did not use it. I know probably not many of you are probably YouTube music users, but
no idea.
Yeah. No. So those are out there. Check it out. And another one here is the iOS 26. Setting a default app for opening files on an iPhone or an iPad, like Finder on the Mac. The Files app on iOS 26 and iPadOS 26 now lets you assign a default app for opening specific file types. And here's a way to make use of this handy feature. It lets you set that up to your default apps like PDFs, images, videos, audio, documents, and such. And you might want to open photos at a different place. So what you have to do is you want to go and then the app that you want it to default open with, you can go in and set it. So you open up the stock files app, you go to the file, you touch and hold the file, get info, and then there's a selector in there, always open with. And then you can go in there and then select the one of the supported apps that are there. So you can go in and say you want to open photos in Photoshop, or you want to open it up in a different photo app, or maybe Pixelmator Pro. You can do that by setting it in here, which is great. Even like with the PDF files, if you wanted to open it for Adobe Reader, God forbid do that, but that would kill me. But this is a cool way and not be stuck with the core Files app to just open and view it, because you don't get as much powerful capabilities. So, and was anybody aware of that?
No.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on to some news here before we wrap up. We got Apple is reportedly is going to be moving ahead with ads in Maps. I'm very depressed about this. Apple Maps could feature integrated apps as soon as next year. This was reported by the Germinator. He said in his latest Power On newsletter this past week that their plan is to bring more ads to iOS, is moving and gaining traction, with Mac apps being the next in line. The project apparently is give restaurants and other businesses the option to pay to have their details featured and more prominent in search. So the system said to be similar to what they're doing in search ads and on the App Store. This is definitely interesting to see if this happens. Jeff, what do you think?
First off, this is horrible.
Yeah, I think so.
And you'd think that of all the companies, Apple would avoid doing this because they tout themselves as a user experience first company. Here's the thing. Apple is a corporation. Apple is a company. It is not your friend. And ultimately, Apple's primary goal is to increase shareholder value. So any place that Apple can find where they can increase revenue, eventually they will do it. And ads is a very easy way to make that happen. It disappoints me, but it is not surprising to me at all. Isn't it Cory Doctorow that gave us the term that describes this so well, enshittification? Yeah. I hope they don't go as far as Microsoft has, where in your desktop environment, you are getting ads.
Yeah. Marty, your thoughts?
Okay, so how much are they going to charge me to not have this service ad free?
Might need to have an ad blocker.
Wouldn't it be cool if that was just part of iCloud Plus?
Oh, yeah. I'm hoping that you don't get ads in offline maps. And if you're in an area with really low bandwidth, they don't try and serve you ads. Because I can't tell you the number of times I'm in the middle of nowhere and I forgot to map myself back home again. And I can't get enough of a signal to know which way to go. Add an ad into that, and it would be totally hopeless.
Yep.
I was
Chuck, any thoughts?
Oh boy, I always end up being the contrarian here. I am willing to wait and see how it's implemented, because I can envision ways that it could be implemented that could actually be advantageous. So, and given Apple's focus, I would think that it's not going to be one of those things that they're just going to go out and scrape up all the ads they can get and throw them at you. I think they're going to charge a premium to the advertisers. And if they do, that's going to cut down on sort of the junky ads, and hopefully will give you a more relevant ad and a better quality ad. So I'm not happy about it, but as far as I'm concerned, the jury's still out.
Chuck, I think they've already shown you the model that they're going to use. Just look at the App Store.
Right.
I think it'll work in a very similar way.
So do you think the App Store is horrible?
I think for a lot of people, it's very confusing. When I do a search for a specific app and it doesn't show up, but I get 3 ads for other apps, that's a problem.
Right.
I think they will probably just use the same engine and do whatever they need to do to make it integrate with maps or can you imagine you're doing searches in music? How about doing a spotlight search on your Mac and you start getting ads for related products to whatever you're trying to find on your computer?
Yeah, but you're tarring and feathering Apple with things that haven't happened yet.
That is exactly what I'm doing. You are right.
If and when they happen, then I'm right there with you, and I will be at least as critical, if not more, than you. But again, I'm waiting to see. Maybe I'm just an Apple fanboy and I'm optimistic, but we shall see. But I also completely agree with your comments about Apple being a company and trying to drive shareholder value. So we shall see which one of us is right.
I hope it's you, Chuck.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Joe.
Oh, sorry. My thought, first of all, is I use Waze and I don't use Apple Maps. And I think that the way they do it maybe is more of the model. I'm like, Chuck, I want to wait and see what it is. So I'm in the middle of a town in Minnesota I've never been to before. And so I search for food. So maybe in bold, it says Bob's Pizzeria because they paid. And then there's a little ad on the side that says, best pizza in this town in Minnesota. I'm not opposed to that because then it can highlight something that maybe I'm interested in. So if it's used like it is in Waze, I'm not opposed to what they do. And so I'm just willing to give it a shot and see how it works out, because maybe I want to see an ad for a restaurant in nowhere up in the mid-north woods like I like to go.
Gotcha. Anybody else have anything to add on this?
Yep.
Go ahead, Ben.
I mean, a lot of time, a lot of podcasts I've been hearing about what we expect from Apple, what we expect the user experience to be. Quite frankly, that was before Apple became a large company, and B, got before services revenue was a large part of their earnings.
Mhm.
I mean, I hate to say it, this isn't Steve Jobs' Apple anymore. It's a large company that is going to do large company things, and some of those things are going to be contrary to what we thought Apple was.
Yeah. All right. Anything else on this? All right. Let's hit a couple more stories before we wrap here. Spotify has launched a redesigned Apple TV app with music, videos, and podcasts. They launched this redesign to the Apple TV app. The company says it's been rebuilt from the ground up for a faster, smarter, more visual experience. The new features are including a brand new refreshed design for tvOS 26, as well as 2 formats previously exclusive to the mobile version of the app: video podcasts and music videos. This ability is still rolling out, and it's in the U.S. and Canada, but they're looking to release in other places. I was going to say with this article, about time, Spotify. I mean, Apple Music's been doing it for a long time, pretty much. I mean, maybe separate apps, but they've been doing it. Is there any Spotify users here? I don't think so. Is there?
No.
Marty has everything. Of course, he's a Spotify user.
That is
Yeah,
true.
I'm doing a lot of my
Yeah.
This article is least exciting to me because I never use my Apple TV to listen to music. So for me, who cares what the Spotify new interface looks like? I'm listening to it on my computer or on my phone. I don't have the Apple TV running with the music coming out of it. That's just my user, but it's how I use it. I wonder if there are people. There must be people, because Spotify is excited about it, which means there's got to be some Spotify users with Apple TV or the App TV app that use it that way.
Marty, I think there's a lot of people where their best audio system is their television.
Yep.
Or their home entertainment system. And so they will do their music streaming through their television simply because that's where they have their speakers.
I do have to hand it to them that they stopped whining long enough to do something useful to their product.
Yeah, that's true. Anybody else want to add anything to this?
Glad to see them come up with a deal. Finally.
Yeah.
Ben's comment raises the question of is the product worth the effort?
Oh,
sorry, that just slipped.
If you're into playlists, like deep, crazy into playlists, Spotify is the better product. Even though you do have a larger music library available in Apple Music, for a lot of people, doesn't matter. It's everything that Spotify playlist brings to the table.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started curating my playlists on Spotify long before I ever did anything with Apple Music. And that's why it's sort of legacy for me at this point.
Yep. All right. 2 more stories before we wrap up here. T-Mobile had closed off closing an autopay discount loophole for Apple Pay and credit card payments. And this is one of the things that frustrated me with T-Mobile. 2 years ago, T-Mobile announced a controversial decision to ditch its autopay discount for Apple Pay and credit card payments. And its reasoning at the time, of course, was because they pay higher processing fees on credit card transactions, so it saves a few dollars by restricting autopay to debit and bank payments only. Unfortunately, T-Mobile is now cracking down even a more popular workaround, which I didn't even know about, that allows customers to get auto pay discount by still using a credit card and Apple Pay for payments. What the trick was is you basically you manually pay your T-Mobile statement balance ahead of the auto pay date, and then you can use that credit card or Apple Pay to get the auto payment on your bill. You just had to make the change right when it went into effect on Friday of October 24th, and then you could go through it and you would lose this. But it's a huge discount I was going to lose. I'd lose like a $100 discount if I was going to continue on to have a credit card charge for it. So I was fine with it. I just have a direct debit to my checking account and be done with it. So any thoughts on this, guys?
Yeah. It seems like the outgoing and incoming CEOs of T-Mobile have pretty much spent their entire tenures trying to undo all of John Laguerre's Un-carrier initiatives. At this point, they're pretty much just the most carrier of them all.
Yeah, I would probably agree with that comment. Anybody else want anything to add to this? All right. Last story. We're going to wrap up with Apple is saying that the U.S. passport feature on the iPhone is coming soon. You will soon, quote unquote, be able to add a digital version of the U.S. passport to your iPhone, according to the Vice President, Jennifer Bailey of Apple Pay and Apple Wallet. So it's official here. She reiterated that the feature is coming soon in her keynote at the Money 2020 conference that was in Las Vegas this past week. On its iOS 26 page, Apple says the delayed feature will be coming later this year. Apple's website previously mentioned the software update would be required to use the feature, so no mention of what version, but it could be 26.2 or it could be later. We're not sure, but basically it'll create a digital passport in your wallet app, and you'll be able to present that to a person at TSA and checkpoints and select U.S. airports for identification purposes for domestic travel. However, Apple says it's not a replacement for a physical passport, and it cannot be used for international travel. So what's the point? So Apple says the digital ID feature is secure, private, and compliant with the Real ID. Other details that was mentioned by Bailey was Apple Pay is now available in 89 countries and regions. I don't think it's in the UK still. Is it, or is it? And accepted in 90% of the retailers in the US. In Apple Wallet's car key feature is available in more than 300 vehicle models across 29 countries. They got the other countries and features with all kinds of stuff. And then Tap to Pay has been out there as well. So any thoughts on this? I mean, I think it's fine to have it for U.S. travel if you don't have a Real ID. I certainly hope everybody here at this point has a Real ID. I think it's silly not to get it if you travel. Chuck, what do you think?
I think it's just one more move. We're slowly moving forward. I live in a state that, has not adopted the digital IDs yet. So, I still have to carry a regular driver's license. It would be nice to have something like this so that it's just one less thing you have to carry, one less thing you have to really potentially worry about losing, especially given just how important it could be if you're traveling even to friendly countries, let alone questionable relationship companies. So, yeah, I think Apple can do it. It's just a matter then of getting the people on the other side to acknowledge it, get whatever equipment they need to be able to verify it. But it's just one more step forward.
Jeff, your thoughts?
I do. Okay, so I live in a state where digital ID was adopted pretty early on, and it's a mixed bag because there's a lot of places where you would think you'd be able to use digital ID, and you can't. The last I checked, there was like 5 law enforcement agencies in the whole state that could accept a digital ID. So it doesn't preclude me from leaving my driver's license at home. And there's other places that are supposed to accept digital ID. Like you should be able to walk into a liquor store and use your digital ID. and a lot of liquor stores to this day are still like, what are you showing me? They have no idea. But that said, when I'm traveling, that's where digital ID really shines. So as long as I am going through airports that accept digital ID, it is just so much faster.
Yeah.
And with the way your travel pass is linked to your ID now, I go through the TSA pre-check line, bloop, scan, done. Everything is just done. And from what I understand, and I may very well be wrong, the digital passport, like if you're in the United States and you're going to be traveling internationally, when you go through the checkpoint at the US airport, that's where you can use this. You'll need your physical passport when you get to the other end, and then to come back to the United States as well. But that doesn't negate the convenience of being able to use this on the first point for your trip. Also, if you need to present ID, and for whatever reason you don't want to present your real ID digital version, this becomes an option. And like you said, for people that don't have real ID, but they do have a passport, this becomes an option for domestic travel as well. Yeah, I think this is good. I like this idea.
Yeah. Oh, I like the idea. It's just for international travel, that's where it's going to be a challenge. So
yeah.
Anybody else want to add anything? Go ahead,
Yeah,
Mark.
I'm going to add on. I think it has some benefits in international travel. Like, yes, I have to carry my passport, but if I lose my passport and I have to go to an American embassy, if I have a digital passport on my phone, it's more evidence that I am who I am, and it might help them seek a replacement for it. If this could be used at ticket check-in or the ticket counter where I'm dropping my bags off, instead of having to go through my wallet, pull out the driver's license to show it to the person, and then shove it back in, or be so rushed that I put it in a pocket, not back in the wallet. If I could just have it all of it in one device to get me through, and I use Clear, so that's also an advantage in terms of using biometrics to get through, getting through TSA. If I could not have to fumble with IDs in pockets and wallets and boarding passes and all of that stuff, that would just be a great benefit to it. In Ohio, we have the digital ID availability, not like next door where Chuck is in Pennsylvania. And I haven't found much reason to use it. Sometimes I forget it's there. I need to test it at the airport to see whether they'll take that instead of my driver's license. And if they say no, I'll have my driver's license with me, but I'd like to test that out at the ticket counter.
Yep. Anybody else want anything?
I was going to say, go ahead, Ben. I keep interrupting you.
Yeah, this is the future. It may not entirely be the present, but this is how ID is going to be in the future. Like when I recently updated my ID to Real ID, got a new picture, etc. Well, my digital record in that app, I didn't have to re-enter my driver's license. It just pushed everything from the Iowa DMV record to my phone. And I'm sure the digital passport will do the same thing.
All right.
I was going to say, I happen to know someone who doesn't have a real ID but has a passport. So I'm like, you got to try this feature out. She can't fly anywhere. So I thought, well, this would be nice for her. She can bring her passport, but yeah.
Well, I think for all the states that can't get a digital driver's license, this is a good way for them to sort of experience the concept. and perhaps kickstart some of the states into, joining the club.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Agree.
All right.
Webb has a question in the chat,
Oh, thank you. I've been missing
and
that.
it's a
Go
great
ahead, Webb.
question. Would you be willing to
Yes.
surrender your iPhone in case an authority needs your ID? And the answer to that is no, because they never
Thank you.
need your iPhone to get your ID. The way the whole digital ID thing is set up, the agent, the law enforcement officer, whoever it is that needs your ID, they have a system where it's sort of like tap to pay. Your phone needs to be close enough for it to do the scan thing. They never touch your phone at all. So if they need to physically verify your ID, you do not hand your phone, you hand them a physical ID instead.
Right. Thank you. Thanks, Webb, for that question. I missed
Yeah,
that.
that's a great question.
That is a great question. Thank you. All right. Well, with that, let's go. That was a great show this week. We had a lot of fun, a lot of good things to talk about, and let's go ahead and wrap up for this week. That's a wrap for this week. Please send your comments, questions, suggestions to our email address, which is feedback@intouchableios.com. You can follow us on BlueSky, Mastodon at intouchableios. Support the show. Buy me a coffee at intouchableios.com/coffee. We'd really appreciate it. You can become a patron of the show by going to patreon.com/intouchableios. We have 2 tiers available to support the show. We'd really appreciate it. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe when we're live streaming. Usually it's on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/intouchableios. Great to see Webb Bixby and Wither Buckets. Thanks for being here, and others that were lurking in the chat as well. Appreciate you being here. You can also go there, watch the previous live streams, and listen to past shows. You can subscribe to the show in your favorite podcatcher, including Pocket Cast, Overcast, Apple Podcasts, and many others. Better yet, just go to our website, intouchableios.com, where all the ways to listen to us are there on that site. I am Dave Ginsburg, and you can find me on BlueSky, Mastodon at DaveG65, and we'll reverse the order here. Marty Jencius, thank you for being here. Where can people find you?
You can find me at Jencius, Jencius at BlueSky, and also at mastodon.social. Look for the podcasts and things that I do on thepodtalk.net as the website. Just dropped a new one for Tech Savvy Professor on power writing tools that you can use. Did one also for Circular Firing Squad, where we talked about Halloween and all the crazy stuff we did with Halloween. And then most recent Fade to Chat, where we did the movie Gaslight from 1944. And planning on doing next Lawrence of Arabia, which will be a challenge. Yeah.
Nice. Jeff Gamet, thank you for Marty. Jeff Gamet, thank you for being here. We appreciate it. Where can people find you?
Geez, where can you find me? Well, let's do social media. Jay Gamet on all the social medias, pretty much. Most active on Mastodon, BlueSky, and PixelFed right now. And since it's still October for a couple more days, you can go find my Inktober drawings on all the socials. And then for shows, Chuck lets me join in on Mac Voices Live. You let me join in on In Touch with iOS, because you're both incredibly patient people. And then the British Tech Network, The Big Show, and The Mac Show. Brian Chaffin and I do The Context Machine, and Patrice Brendamore and I do Retro Rewatch.
Thank you so much, Jeff. Chuck Joyner, thank you for being here. It's always a pleasure having you. Where can people find you?
Thank you, Dave. MacVoices.com is where you can find everything. The Mac Voices live shows Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. All of the interviews we do, and we've got some really interesting things coming up. A little bit off the wall. Not off the wall, just different. And on all the socials, you can find me as at Chuck Joyner. Thanks for having me, as always.
Thank you, Chuck. Eric Bolden, it's always great to have you and your Vision Pro wisdom. Where can people find you?
I can be found most easily on Mastodon at EA-Bolden at mas.to. And, of course, on Monday nights on Vision Profiles, on Tuesdays on Mac Voices, and of course on Thursdays or occasionally the special Wednesday on In Touch with iOS, kind of rounding out the week so that I cover all my OS bases.
Great. Thank you. Ben Roethig, thank you for being here. I know it's tough on your schedule sometimes. Appreciate you making time here for us. Where can people find you?
Find me at Ben Roethig on social media. RoethigTech.com for my ratings and ravings. And also occasionally other shows like Mac Voices Live of Chuck Joyner and the Big and Mac shows on the British Tech Network.
All right. Thank you, Ben.
Yes, British accent.
Last, certainly not. Yes.
Hey-ho.
Last, certainly not least, Jill McKinley. Thank you for being here. Where can people find you?
People can find me at jillfromthenorthwoods.com. It's just a page of all the different things I do. I have a podcast every day of the week and overextended. So it's great to have all sorts of content out there.
Yes. Thank you, Jill. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Really appreciate it. We'll be back to normal time schedule on Thursday nights next week. Until then, thanks again, and we'll talk again soon.